Yeah, good evening. Are we live?
Yes, we are live now.
All right, so let me say hi to my students there on YouTube. Hello, guys. How are you all doing? Hello. Yeah, great, great. How's your day been going so far, guys? Mithil, if I'm not audible to you, please rejoin here. Great, great, lovely, right? Okay. All right, so let's get started with what we are supposed to cover in this session, right? Let me share the screen with you and I will ask you a few questions before we get started so that I get to know what you people know about IELTS and our speaking module first of all. Actually, we are discussing speaking. Okay, guys, tell me, what do you all know about speaking? What do you all know? How many parts do we have in our speaking exam? Yeah, very good. It's 3 parts. Correct. Very good. 3. Yes. What is the duration of our speaking exam? Yes. Correct. Wow. Lovely. Yes, it is exactly 11 to 14 minutes, right? All right. So what is the assessment criteria? What do you know about the assessment criteria? How do we all get assessed? Hello, Imanshu. Hello, Ravi. Hi. How do we get assessed, guys? 4 criteria. Very good. What is that? What is that? Yes, lexical resources. Very good. What else? Hello, Minku. Hi, Virendra. Hello, guys. Hello. Yes, pronunciation, vocabulary, right? So that is what we are going to cover in this session. I will give you a brief of what do we have in our speaking module in IELTS, right? And how to crack that, how to crack your IELTS speaking in one go. That is what we are going to look at in this session. Shall we start, guys? Hello, Kartik. Hi, Reshma. Hello, everyone. Welcome, all of you. Yeah, shall we start? Great. So let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Ekta Ahuja and I am a trainer, IELTS trainer at LeapScholar, and I will be discussing speaking module with you all here, right? We are going to learn how to crack speaking test, our IELTS speaking test in one go, in one attempt. That is what we are going to cover, right? So I will be sharing the strategies with you. Let's get started. Yeah, so let's cover the basics of speaking first so that we all are on the same page. Hello, everyone. All right. Okay, so IELTS speaking is going to be a face-to-face discussion with a certified IELTS examiner. That means your speaking test. IELTS speaking test is one of the 4 modules you have in your IELTS exam. Other than speaking, you have listening, reading, and writing. And speaking is one of those 4 modules. So it is one-on-one discussion with a certified IELTS trainer, a certified IELTS examiner in your exam, right? So what happens there? When you book your exam, you get a venue where you have to take your exam and you sit in front of your examiner. It's face-to-face discussion, right? The examiner asks you questions and you answer those questions. So it is going to be one-on-one discussion. It is just like interview, right? So you sit in front of examiner and the examiner asks you questions, you answer those questions. This test, the duration of this test is 11 to 14 minutes. You can expect minus 1 or 2 minutes. That means it can go beyond 14 minutes. It could be around 16 minutes as well. The speaking test is controlled by examiner. Jasmeet, I didn't get your question, dear. You have to rephrase it. I didn't understand what you're trying to ask. Right, guys, no matter whether you are taking academic or general exam, this test, speaking test, is going to be same for both. Right, you all will be taking it one-on-one. If you are taking CBT, you are taking pen and paper test or computer-based test, doesn't matter. This test is going to be same for both. It will be one-on-one discussion with the examiner. That means you can't take IELTS at home, can't take this exam at home. You have to go to the venue, right? This test, your speaking test, is divided into 3 parts. It is divided into 3 parts. We will be looking at those 3 parts. Plus, we will understand the marking criteria as well, that how your speaking test is evaluated, how the examiner is giving you scores, right? So we will be looking at it. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Those who are joining just now, hello, we are covering speaking here. Dear, you just have this exam, just meet. It's one-on-one discussion with the examiner, right? So you can't take it at home. That means you have to physically go there. Hello, everyone. So now let's look at the 3 parts. We know that we have 3 parts in speaking, right? So that is what we're going to look at. So what are these 3 parts? These 3 parts are basically, it is the test format, your speaking test format, right? Your speaking test starts with an introduction round, or you can say introduction and interview round. So this is the round where, am I audible to everyone? Can you please give me a thumbs up? Am I audible to everyone? Great, great. Lovely. All right. Wow, I can see the excitement, plus like how many of you are attentive. Yeah, I can see that. So many responses. Wow, lovely to see that. Okay, so yes, discussing our part 1. What is our part 1, right? Part 1 is going to be an introduction and interview round. That means in this round, we call it warm-up round as well. Now, can anyone tell me why do we call it warm-up round? We call part 1 as warm-up round 2. What is warm-up round? Good evening, Harsh. Good evening, Kanchan. Hello. Hello, everyone. Yes, Himanshu, definitely you can learn that here. That is what we are covering here. So warm-up round, it is called warm-up round because here the examiner wants you to feel comfortable. The examiner is going to ask you some questions that are day-to-day topics, right? These questions are our day-to-day topic, and the examiner is going to ask you these questions, some familiar topics you're using on a daily basis, right? You can say animals, right? Sky, colors, something that you're using on day-to-day basis. So that is what the examiner is going to ask you here. You can expect around 10 to 12 questions in your part 1. In your part 1, the examiner might ask you 10 to 12 questions. So you have to be prepared. This particular question, or you could say your part 1, lasts for around 4 to 5 minutes. But again, guys, your entire speaking is controlled by examiner, right? So you can expect changes in that it could be, maybe it is just for 3 minutes, maybe it's for 5 minutes. Yeah, so it's entirely controlled by your examiner, but these days you can expect around 10 to 12 questions in your part 1. Okay, so what kind of questions the examiner is asking? We know that these are day-to-day questions, but what kind of questions here? Why we call it introductory or interview round? Yes, correct, Mansi. The examiner wants you to feel comfortable. That's why we call it warm-up round as well. The examiner just wants you to understand that this is just a test. So they just warm you up that you're supposed to answer those questions. Again, guys, this is just a language test, right? We are not checking your knowledge here. Okay, so you don't have to worry if you don't have any idea about a particular question. It's perfectly fine. We are just checking your language. That is what the examiner wants to know, that whether you are proficient in the language, are you able to answer those questions or not. That is what the examiner wants to check. Correct, Soumya. The examiner is going to ask you questions like weather, right? Hobbies, or what else? Colors, right? Animals, plants, something like this, right? Do you like to watch movies? Such kind of questions, right? Common questions you can expect in your part 1. All right, correct. So how do you answer part 1? That is what we will be looking at in this session, right? And next part, about after your part 1, once you're done with this part, examiner has spent 4 to 5 minutes asking you questions on part 1. Then you move on to part 2. What is your part 2, guys? Gayatri, it depends. It's not that your examiner is going to be Indian only. It can be a foreigner too. So it depends on the body you're booking your exam through. Right, it depends on them whether they are asking a foreigner to come for your interview or it's just Indian only. So part 2 is going to be, yes, very good. We call it a monologue. We call it long run, or you can say you get a cue card here, right? It means monologue means when a single person speaks. So what happens in your part 2, the examiner gives you a cue card. Cue card means a random topic, a topic on which you have to speak about. And how long do you speak? Many of you have already answered without even asking, right? Up to 2 minutes. Up to 2 minutes. Right. So I have a question here, guys. Most of the time it's seen that the examiner stops you before 2 minutes. Does that mean that you have made some mistake there? Does this mean you have made mistake here? No, that doesn't mean you have made any mistake or you committed any error. No, it's just a matter of time. You just have limited time slot, right? 11 to 14 minutes. So if the examiner stops you in between, it's perfectly fine. They just want to spend more time on part 3 maybe. That's why they stop you in between. So you don't have to worry. But while you're preparing, you have to make sure that you're able to speak for up to 2 minutes. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. So those who are just joining, guys, we are covering speaking here, IELTS speaking, right? So we have covered part 1. Part 1 is your introductory round and part 2 is your cue card topic, right? In cue card topic, you get a topic, a task card given by examiner on which you have to speak about for up to 2 minutes. Guys, we will be discussing part 2, part 3 in detail. Part 1 as well, I am coming up with my premium batch where I will be discussing everything in details, right? So I'm coming up with my premium batch, like it's exclusively for speaking and listening. There I will be covering everything related to speaking in detail, right? So here I am just going to give you a brief plus something that you all are scared of using, right? So I will be telling you that what is that, right? That assesses your speaking level. When we come to assessment, you will get something from my side that you can use in your speaking exam. So are we clear so far, part 1 and part 2? Any questions, anyone? Great, wonderful. Now, what about your part 3? So part 1, it's just a warm-up round. Examiner is asking you some questions. Yeah, you answer those questions. Part 2, it's a cue card topic. Examiner gives you a topic, right? And you have to speak about it. Part 3 is your discussion round. That means here the examiner asks you questions just like your part 1, but here you are discussing something, right? It's more of abstract round. It means the examiner is going to ask you questions where you have to give general opinions. Maybe you need to analyze a situation, right? This part 3 is going to be related to your part 2. That is why we call it follow-up round as well. That means the theme of your cue card topic is followed here. We call it follow-up round. Why? Because theme of part 2 is followed here. Let's take an example. Suppose in part 2, the examiner gives you a topic. Talk about a time when you got late for an event. Yeah. So this is your cue card topic. Now the examiner is asking you to speak about an event where you got late, right? Now here, when you have covered your part 2, when you have spoken about your part 2, the examiner would start asking you questions related to this topic, right? So what are these questions going to be about? It's going to be about the same theme you have your cue card about. It's about getting late, right? So the examiner would ask you some questions related to this part only. Yeah, of course, right? So what kind of questions do you get? The examiner would ask you, is it okay in your country to make someone wait for you? So this question is about getting late or making someone wait for you, right? So questions related to this task, this particular theme would be asked in your part 2. Yeah. Garima, would be great if you try to understand this particular part. Yeah, because this is your language test, right? So we need to understand language only. Yes, correct. Lovely. Great. So this is what I am going to discuss in my upcoming batch. That is my premium batch specifically for your speaking and listening only. That means I am going to give everything. I am going to discuss everything in detail related to your speaking and listening here. Plus, you will get a chance to get your speaking evaluated in classrooms only. Why? Because this particular batches, the size of the batch is very compact. That means 20 to 25 students will be there only, and you can get your speaking evaluated, right? You can get your speaking evaluated during your sessions only, right? So the timing for this batch is going to be 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's going to be 1.5 hour batch, and I am coming up with this batch on 12th of May. There I will be discussing everything related to speaking. I will give you the tips and strategies, right? Plus you will get to know more about what is your IELTS speaking and how to crack that, right? Yeah, so we will be coming back to it, guys. I have shared the link in the chat box. You can click onto the link, right? And you can register yourself right now. It is just 548, guys. If you click onto the link right now, it will just cost you 438 rupees only. With this, you will get a chance to get your speaking evaluated in class itself, right? So many of you have problem in speaking, right? That you speak but there is no evaluation. You don't get the right path, what needs to be done in your speaking exam and what's not. So that is the evaluation that I will be providing you in the classrooms, right? Yeah, so let's move on to the next part. Oh, great, Navpreet. Lovely to know that. Oh, wow. So I have so many old students here, right? They are telling me in the chat box. So glad to see you here, guys. Yeah. All right. So what are the parameters? Now we know that the speaking test, we have 3 tasks in speaking test, but how it's being assessed, right? It's assessed on the basis of these 4 parameters. You see on the screen: fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. Yes, Rishikesh, I will tell you more about it for sure. Great. All right, so these are the 4. I am going to explain all 4 parameters, right? So what is this fluency and coherence? What is this fluency and coherence? What do we understand? We have 2 words. That means we have 2 things that will be covered here. So fluency means the flow of your speaking, how well you are able to speak without hesitating, right? Without hesitation, how well do you speak? One second. How well do you manage to speak without hesitation, without taking negative pauses? Now, what are these negative pauses? What are these negative pauses? When you speak, you tend to say, basically. So when you use these words so often, fillers, yes, that means you are not able to speak without noticeable efforts, without hesitation. You are not able to speak. That is what the examiner wants to check in your fluency part, whether you speak well without using these fillers so many times. Yeah. Arya, it will be shared one more time. Don't worry. I will share it one more time in the chat box. You can click onto the link and join. Yeah. What about your next part? That is your coherence. So fluency is about speaking without hesitation and without negative pauses, right? What about your coherence? What does coherence means? Coherence means the logical flow in your speaking. That means whatever you are saying is making sense or no. Logical flow, how well you are able to connect your ideas. That means how well do you use connectors in your speaking. So whenever you speak, it doesn't do you start throwing random sentences that you say one thing and then suddenly you're talking about the next thing? No, right? What do? You connect, you make a flow in your speaking, right? So that is what we call coherence. That means your speaking should be in a flow. Whatever you are saying should make sense. Suppose you're answering a question. I have a question for you. I say, do you like listening to music? And you say, yes, I do. I was listening to music last night and then I slept. Does it make sense? Is there a logical flow? No, you're not answering the question, plus there is no flow in your speaking. It's not relevant to the question, as well as it is not well connected. You are not answering the question as well. So that is your fluency and coherence. That means, are you able to respond to the question in flow with using connectors? That is what your fluency and coherence is about. So that is what I'm going to teach you in classes, that how to make sure that you are answering the question, you are answering to the question in a relevant manner. Along with it, you are connecting it well. You're using those connectors in your speaking. That is what we're going to cover in the batch, in the premium batch I'm coming up with, right? Now, Preet, everything. Okay, wow, Baljeet, very good. So I am so excited. So many of you are already confirming that you have registered for the batch. Yeah, so I'm so excited to see you all there, right? Let's get to our next part. What is next part? Lexical resources. So I have an activity for you for this specific part. So see, I was telling you that you all are scared of something. What is that? Using vocabulary in your speaking, right? Using vocabulary. So you use vocabulary, right? And you are afraid to use so many words because you tend to use common words in your speaking. So what is this lexical resource? This lexical resource is a fancy word for uncommon vocabulary. That means you are supposed to ditch common words, and you are supposed to use some uncommon idiomatic expressions, uncommon vocabulary in your speaking, right? That is what we call lexical resources. So what do we have in that? Uncommon vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, right? What else do we have? We have collocations. So everything I'm going to teach you in my premium batch in detail. What is a collocation? What is, and I have one activity for you all here for lexical resources. Once we have covered this, we will be moving to that. And for idioms, collocation, everything I am going to discuss in my premium batch, guys. So if you have not registered yourself yet, please register. Yeah. Sabah, this premium batches for 1 week. We will be covering speaking and listening exclusively in 1 week. Yeah. So what is this lexical resource? Lexical resource means when you have a common word, you replace that word in your speaking and use uncommon expression. Now, what does that mean? Let me give you an example. Suppose you say, I want to have a car. Okay, now tell me what word can you use here instead of want? What can you use instead of want? Because want is a common word. Almost everyone is using this word. So are you going to get a higher band score when this is a language test? Yes, what can we use? Very good, Soumya. Right. Correct. So what can you use? You can use desire, right? You have so many words. Very good. You all are coming up with so many words, right? So this is how you make sure that you are not using a common word like want. How can you replace it? You can replace it with desire. Yes, very good. Your word choice needs to be correct, guys. That means you should use a word that is definitely related to the sentence you are making. It should not be, okay, how, let me give you an example for that as well. You say, I decorate a cake. But do you say I dress a cake? Dressing is also means decorating something. No. So do you say I dress a cake? No, you decorate. Correct. So your word choice need to be correct. There are so many words which have same meaning, but they are not used in the same context, right? So you have to learn those words. And where would you learn those words? In the classes, right? So please register yourself for the class. Okay. All right. So what else do we have now? We have grammatical range and accuracy. Now, what is that? I have two words here. Number one is a grammatical range and then accuracy. That means we have two things, range and accuracy, right? We have range and accuracy. So what does this mean? Are we going to, is the examiner is going to check whether I am able to form accurate sentences? Just that? Yes, Pantam, that is also a part of it. So that is what I will be covering in detail, right? So we have so many things, uncommon vocabulary, idioms, collocation, phrasal verbs, so many things in lexical resources part. We have paraphrasing as well. So I will be covering everything in detail. Here, I am just giving you an overview that this is what this particular parameter is about. Yeah. So what about lexical, what about grammatical range and accuracy? That means the examiner is going to check accuracy as well as the range. What does that mean? Accuracy means if I'm able to form correct sentences, grammatically correct sentences. And when it comes to the range, that means am I able to use a variety of structures? A variety of structures. What are those variety of structures? Simple structure, compound, right? Complex structures. So all this variety, your compound, complex, right? All such variety you have to use in your speaking exam, right? So that is what is your grammatical range and accuracy is about. So I'm coming up with my next session that is on grammar only. So you will have the session tomorrow. So make sure you all join in tomorrow at the same time for your grammar session. I will be discussing so many things related to grammar there, that how you can boost your score when it comes to grammar. Right, so you have to have a variety of structures, plus your sentences need to be correct. Yes, great. Yes, you all are right. Very good. Yes, yes, correct. Tenses as well. You need to take care of tenses, that whether your sentence is right, whatever tense you're using is correct or not, right? So it's all about your structures. All right, guys. Okay. What about pronunciation? Pronunciation means, what does pronunciation mean? What do you understand from pronunciation? That means whatever word you're pronouncing, whether you are able to pronounce that word accurately or not, whether the pronunciation is appropriate or not. Let's take one example. How do you pronounce this word? Yes, pronunciation with proper intonation and stress. How to stress word, that is what we will be discussing in detail in this premium batch, right? How to properly pronounce these words. So what is the pronunciation of this word? You say it bowl. How do you say it? You say it bowl or you say it bowl? One or two? Bowl, bowl. One or two? Quickly type in the chat box, one or two. Yes, guys. Those who are live on YouTube, please answer. One or two? Yes, one, two. Okay. All right. So that is going to be bowl. Second one, right? You don't say bowl, you say bowl. That is the correct pronunciation. Yeah. So we have so many words like this we need to correct. So that is what our pronunciation is about. So more about our speaking exam. This each parameters, the four parameters we have covered, each weighs 25% of total band score. That means all four weigh equally. The candidate is awarded the band score on a scale of 1 to 9, 1 being the lowest and 9 being the highest, and your entire speaking is controlled by the examiner. So now let's do our activity, right? But before that, guys, again, I am coming up with my premium batch. I have shared the link in the chat box. Those who all want to join this batch at just 438 rupees, please join right now. There is a link in the chat box. Click onto the link and enroll yourself right now. So let's learn the vocabulary. See, I told you that you have to replace some common words in your speaking to get a higher score when it comes to your lexical resources, right? So what do you do? What do you do? You have a list of words here on your left, list of words, and you have synonyms. Now we are doing this activity. You have to match these words with their synonyms, the words you can replace them with. Yeah. So let's get started with first one. How can you replace our common word many? What can you use instead of many? Yes, what can you use instead of many? Very good. So you can use numerous, right? So instead of writing many, which is a common word, you should write numerous, or you should speak numerous. What about the second one? Interesting. What about that? What about interesting? Correct. That is E. Gripping or captivating. Very good. So if you want to say something is interesting, you can say that's gripping or captivating. What about third? Famous. Again, a common word, famous. What can you use? Renowned or legendary, right? Very good. So those who got it right, kudos to you. Very good. Well done. What about the next one? Start. How do you replace start? Correct. Commence, that is going to be 4. All right. Enjoy. What about that? Enjoy. Very good. Relish. 6th, important. How can you replace important in your speaking? A common word again, right? Every single time we are using the word important, important. How to replace that? Correct. Imperative, right? Now, what about the last one? Wrong. How can you replace this one? Mistaken. So you already know these words, guys. You already know these words. These are again words that you use in your daily life, but instead of using these uncommon words, you are using the ones that are really common. You say, let's start. Instead of that, say, let's commence, let's yeah. So if you're saying you're wrong, instead of that you can say you must be mistaken. Important, imperative. Try to replace these words in your speaking, because these are common words that you already know, and the examiner is looking for something that is uncommon in your speaking, words that are not so common. So that is what we mean from vocabulary. Doesn't mean, guys, having fancy words or having some words which are difficult to pronounce. These could be as simple as these words. These words will fetch you a higher score, so make sure you know that you're using uncommon vocabulary in your speaking, right? So I will be sharing so many vocabulary like this with you in the batch that is upcoming, that is my upcoming batch speaking, right? You all can register yourself. The link is in the chat box, guys, right? So shall we start practicing our part 1? I am going to give some of you a chance to speak now. Are you all ready? Yeah, you ready? Great. All right. So I am gonna unmute, right? I am gonna unmute some of you. Let's start with Abhishek. Okay. Hi, Abhishek. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Abhishek. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So are you ready for part 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you enjoy shopping?
Yeah.
I guess he's not able to speak. Who else wants to speak? Okay, Saba. Saba, I'm giving you a chance. Can you unmute yourself? Hey, Saba. Okay. Yes, yes, you will get the chance. Don't worry. Hello, Saba.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great. Okay.
What
So do
about
you
you?
doing great? Thank you so much. So do you enjoy shopping?
Yes, definitely. This is my hobby. I definitely enjoy shopping very often.
All right. Okay. So in part 1, you are supposed to elaborate your sentences, right? You are supposed to answer the question and add information to it. So your answer should be around 2 to 3 sentences here, right? So do not repeat the same thing what you have already answered. Try to add additional information. Try to add something that would elaborate your answer. Yeah. So you can just say that yes, I do, and then give some additional information like what kind of things you like to buy. Yeah, you can add something to it. All right. So your answer should be around 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, Saba?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So next up. Okay. All right. Let me allow Anchal to speak.
Hello, ma'am.
Sure. Hello. Hello, Anchal.
How are you, ma'am?
Doing great, dear. How are you doing?
I'm also Jubilant, ma'am.
Great. Lovely. Okay. So where do you usually go shopping?
I usually go shopping. The market is near around me. So that is RSMH Road.
Can add more information to it,
Okay,
because the
okay.
examiner is trying to assess
Yeah,
your
yeah.
language proficiency, right?
Okay, okay, ma'am. Yeah, I usually go shopping. The shopping market is around me. That is RSMH Road. Basically, I go there because that always comes near to me. One thing. Second is there are a reasonable kind of tops I can buy. So, and I love to do window shopping also. And even I love to do shopping with my family members, especially with my mother
All
and
right,
my
enough,
sister-in-law.
right? Just 2 to 3 sentences and that's it. Yeah.
Okay,
Just
ma'am.
and try to avoid fillers in your speaking. Okay. All
Sure.
right, guys. Again, guys, this is the time to enroll for your speaking batch, right? That is coming up this 7 to 8:30 p.m. This 12th of May, right? Please enroll yourself for this batch. The link is in the chat box, right? And guys, if this time is not convenient for you, you can enroll yourself in any of these batches that we have, right? We have 4-week session, 4-week course by Atul sir, right? He will be taking premium batch and we will have all 4 modules covered in during this 4-week time, right? You can get yourself enrolled for exclusive reading batch where just reading will be discussed, so you all can get a chance to participate in a small group of just 20 to 25 students. Plus you can expect personalized attention, guys, because when you know that this group is small, you can expect that you will be given a chance to speak and ask your questions. It is going to be an interactive session and you all will be interacting with your trainers. So please click onto the link and join any of these batches wherever you feel you have a problem. Yeah. All right, so who is next? Okay, let me unmute. Okay, Sai, let me unmute Sai. Hello, Sai, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So why do you like to shop?
I would like to go shopping whenever I'm in need of clothes or any jewelry for special occasions. Also, I'll go shopping when it is a festival time or my birthdays. I'll go shopping whenever some marriages in the relatives happening.
All right, dear. All right,
presently.
all right. So my question is, why do you like to shop? So you need to make sure that you're answering to the question properly. The question is about why, right? So
Oh, sorry.
why do you like to shop? So you need to make sure that you answer the question only. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It should be
Can I
clear.
talk on that now?
Yeah, sure.
I love shopping since childhood. As a girl, I think everybody can relate to shopping phobia or sorry, shopping hobby. Like we just go on shopping, even if there is no need to buy something, we just love as an instinct of a girl behavior, and we just pile up things
Yeah.
after we go shopping.
All right, all right. So you great that you are able to answer the question, but you need to make sure that you are sticking to the point only. You're answering the question itself and adding information to it. Yeah, guys. So that's why we have these batches for you so that you can improve, right? With this premium batch, you are not only just getting the classes, guys, you will be getting the recordings of these sessions you have. Along with it, you will be getting 5 mock tests that would include your writing mock as well. You can get your writing evaluated for free. Now see, you like those I unmuted, you were having a problem in answering the question. So how you can practice? When you enroll for this course, guys, you will be able to practice in our speaking rooms, right? We have speaking rooms for you in this batch only, where you can practice 24/7. Our educators host session there. You all can host your own session, participate there, right? Yes, Ajay, it is a professional speaking course only, right? You will be getting all the evaluation you need to crack your IELTS exam. Plus you will get the access to this particular speaking room we have. There are so many rooms that are being hosted right now as we are having the session here. You all can get yourself enrolled to this particular course and get the access to this speaking room. What would happen in these speaking rooms? You can host your own session where you can practice, or you can join any of the sessions that is being hosted by students like you. It is 24/7, guys, that you, whenever you are getting time, when you come from your office or from your schools or colleges, from wherever you are coming, whatever your convenient time is, you can attend or you can participate in one of the sessions according to your time, right? Great, Saba. Very good. Lovely. So I can see so many confirmations already. Those who have confirmed their seat. Lovely. Yes, Anchal, you can definitely do that. You can host your own speaking room, participate there. Plus, our lead educators are also hosting so many sessions to give you live feedback, just like I am giving you here. It is not possible for me to evaluate everyone here in this room. So when you enroll for the course, definitely it's going to be 1.5 hour session where we will be working on your speaking only, right? How well we can improve, what are the parameters, what do we need to do, where we need to work. Very good, Shweta, lovely. See you this 12. Yeah, great. So you all can participate and get your speaking evaluated from your educator. It will be a great experience, guys. It will be a great experience. Don't think too much and just register right now. Here is the link in the chat box, and you will get the access to our speaking rooms where you can practice every day 24 into 7. That is going to be related to speaking and listening, Ajay, because that is my batch, speaking and listening. If you want to enroll yourself for any of the batches, any of the other batches, if this time is not convenient for you, right, you can just click onto the link and join any of the batches that are coming up wherever you feel that you are lacking in. Yeah, great, Shweta, great. So tell me in the chat box how many of you have already joined or how many of you have already registered. Please tell me in the chat box. Wow, Tushar, Vishwa, very good, very good. Lovely, great, Anjali. Wow, so see you all there this 12th of May. Plus,
Hello,
guys,
ma'am. Sorry for interrupting. I'm gonna join this premium batch, but for this, for just a minute, may I know how will you answer for that particular question? Like, why do you like shopping? Just to evaluate myself, like
yeah,
how the
sure, sure,
professionals
Shivani,
answer.
sure. Just a
Yes.
moment, please. Yeah, great. So I will, yeah, let me see how many of you have already joined. I will come to it, dear. I will definitely tell you how to answer. Yes, Aritra, you already have the discount here. When you click onto the link, this basically is for 548 rupees, and you will be able to join the same batch for 438 rupees. Right? This link has already that discounted coupon. You click onto that, and you will be able to get it in 438 rupees only. Gayatri, no problem. You can join any of the other batches. That is as per your convenience. No problem, Achal. You can join more than one batches as well, right? If any other timing is suitable for you, you can do that. So guys, when you click onto the link, you will be directed to a page where you have to sign up, right? You just enter your number. You will receive it OTP on your phone. You just enter the OTP and it will be you will be directed to this page, the one you see on the screen right now. Click onto the any of the batches and the code will be applied itself. Yeah, so coming back to the question. So yeah, the question is, do you enjoy shopping, right? That is what you want me to answer. So when you are answering this
Why do
question,
you like shopping?
why do you like shopping? Okay, so the question is, why do you like shopping? So how would you answer this question? What do you do? First of all, you would answer the question, why do you like shopping? So you have to give the reason, right? So what could be the first reason? Tell me, what could be the first reason that you enjoy shopping? It's your favorite pastime, you can say. Yeah. Okay, what about the next point? As you're speaking, your part one is just about extending it. So you answer the question that why you like. So you can give 2 to 3 reasons. So what are the 3 reasons? Yes, Anjali has an answer for us, right? It is a kind of a therapy for me. So whenever I'm disturbed, I just go online, shop for myself, right? So why do you like? Because it is a kind of stress buster for you. So I use the vocabulary here. It is like a stress buster to me, right? So what do? You add 2 to 3 uh, sentences that would answer your question only. You make sure that you are answering to the question by elaborating. How do you do that? You add 2 to 3 piece of information there. So whatever you think that why you want to shop for yourself, you have the question. It is a stress buster, great source of entertainment. So whatever you want to say, you can simply say, but make sure that you are adding connector in those sentences, that you have flow there. If you don't have the flow there to connect your sentences, Yeah, if you don't have the connectors there to connect your sentences, you will end up losing your score. Yeah, so guys, that is it from my side for today, right? I hope I will see you all there for grammar session tomorrow, right? So see you all at 6:30. Take care, all of you. Make sure that you join in if you have not joined in yet. I am sharing the link one more time in the chat box. Thank you so much, Prantham. Yeah, you all can join. So take care, all of you. Bye bye. See you all there tomorrow.